Hey everyone, this is part 3 of the series of decorating for spring, where I decorate and then I show you what AI recommended I do instead. Alright, we're decorating the last area in my living room before I show you what the entire living room looks like. So if you have not already seen how I've decorated the other aspects of my living room, you can go ahead and go to these videos above. I have part 1 and part 2 linked for you. But we are showing how do I decorate for spring. And then, how did AI recommend I decorate for spring? And what are the differences? What did I like about the AI design? And what would I leave in the dust? So, we are going to get into the last area of decorating, which is this little console table type thing that I have that goes on the back wall. As you can see here, these are my stairs. So, this is basically right now how I'm looking. Is my fireplace is right in front of me. I have the couch, one of the couches right here, and then the other space that we decorated is to my right. So what we are going to do here is, you can see I always put some sort of wreath here, and then we are going to decorate the top, and then the bottom, really, I already have this that I never change out. It has some pillows that don't have any covers on it to give some bulk in that area, and all I will do is put a blanket in that and put it down here so that the bottom is not bare. But I don't really do a lot of decorating down there. Instead, I would prefer that, the decor that I have, people be able to see it. So because of that, I don't really decorate down there and waste my decorations. We are going to focus on the things that we've already talked about. So adding pops of color, adding neutral items, adding height, and things of that sort. So let me go ahead and get the items that I'm going to put here, and we will start building in this space. I love adding natural elements to each thing that I decorate. So this has dried leaves, so it has different types of dried leaves in there. There's eucalyptus, and then there's just other leaves. And then this basket is woven, and it adds a lot of texture. So I like to put this on the side here, like propped up a little bit, if I can get it to stay. It's kind of diagonal, but the thing that will matter is it being able to, for it to stay so that I can add elements in front of it. I also have, I don't know if you guys can see here, but this right here, which is just part of this table, allows me to sometimes, I'm able to actually put things on top of that so that it stays better. We'll see, I may adjust that some. So we're going to build elements on top of this. So I have a lot of stuff in my hands here. So what I like to do, I need to visually see things in order to determine how I want it to look. So I have a couple of different pre-arranged flower combinations here, and then I have a couple of just loose stems. So I have these as well, and then I have some loose stems here that I will put together in this little jar here. Now, if you guys again have seen the previous things that I've decorated, this fits with some of the decor that I have already through here, so this adds in really well. I think that I'm going to put this right here. I like how that looks. Now again, like I said, I need to make sure that this is going to stay stable, and right now I'm not feeling super confident about that. Putting this in front definitely helps keep it more stable. I have that layered. I'm going to layer some of these elements over here as well, so I'm going to, I probably will put this in the middle. And then these two things I will probably put kind of paired together. So I want to make sure that you put it in a way that the best flowers are showing frontwards, and then the ones that don't look as good go in the background so that people can't see them. We already have, again, this kind of threes thing that I'm talking about. So there's different ways in which we have threes. The first thing is we have 3 separate items that are paired. So 1, 2, 3, and you have some balance on each end. So these flowers are balancing with these flowers with regard to the color. But as you can see, one of the things that I'm going to have to add now to provide some balance, and here, let me make sure that you can see, is I'm going to need to add height here in order for this to look right. So I'm going to add height here with some signs that don't say anything. And then I am going to decide from there how I'm going to fill in, or if I'm going to fill in anymore. So let me get the signs now. All right, let me get back on the camera so that you can see me. This is going to be hilarious, me trying to edit this. This is going to be a nightmare because I've never done this before. So you know what? Who cares? You're going to like it or you're not going to like it. Anyway, I'll probably even cut that out. Who knows? all this to say is that I now have the elements that I need. So I decided I am going to fill in more. And so first, the height. So this is a great way to add height. And I actually have one that looks very similar to this that is hidden in kind of the background of the items on the fireplace. And that's why I like to buy twos of things, because you don't have to necessarily use both items in the same area in order for it to tie in with the entire room. So I'm going to put this back here to give some height. And again, I like to angle it. And then now that I have that height, I'm going to add some items that again tie in with other areas that I've already decorated. But these provide some texture and they're different patterns, so you get some different lines with regard to that. So I'm going to put this one here, and I think what I'm going to do is I don't want, again you can see I'm doing a threes pairing here, so you can imagine where this is going to go. But I don't like it just looking like that, that looks weird. So instead I'm going to put this on the side here, put this in the middle, and see if I like the way that that looks instead. I don't know if I like that. So give me some time to determine. This, I do like how this looks. But I think that I need to add an element there if I'm going to keep that way. The other thing is I have this little one right here that I could use. I think that this being too close to that is one thing. But I don't like the amount of space that is between those. So I think I have another sign. So I'm going to put that sign in the front. I think that that will help tie that in better, and then I think I'm going to put this more on the side and put those closer together. So I have these two signs here that I feel like will work really well in this space. So I'm going to put this one here in front, offsetted. I'm going to put this now here, and I'm going to put this here. So now that's on the side, and then I'm going to have this here, and I'm going to move this forward some. So now that's not just as angled, but main thing again is making sure that it's in a way that, okay, I like that. I think that that looks a lot better. Like I said, I didn't like the flowers being so far away from each other. This brings them in closer without them being right next to each other. And then you still have the elements here. This, I think, would look really good here. So I'm actually going to put that just right in front here, and then put this, there we go. So I like how that looks as well. So now all these elements tie in together, but they're not exactly the same. So you can see we have height, that's the same. We have two pictures that are like the same aesthetic, but they're not. And they're kind of angled in a similar way, right? So they're both on the left-hand side of the thing that's tall. We have things in the foreground, we have things in the front ground. We have two elements that are gold, that are different pattern, and they're metal. So a lot of this ties in together, but you can see we're still kind of following that three method where we have three different piles, and then we have actually 4 elements here instead of 3, but it's okay to have, some more elements. The other thing that you could do is if you're like, ooh, this is a lot of floral that we have going on, you could easily sub this out for a candle. So you could put a candle right here. Let me show you what that looks like. So I have a gorgeous ceramic candle that I made myself, and you can definitely put this right here, and then you could light that, and that would again add a different component to it and make it to where now there's not so much floral. So I actually like how that looks more, and I think that that's what I'll do. You could even add this floral over to the side as well. I think that looks fine. I'll just keep that way. Alright, so this is how I have now styled this area. Now let's go over what AI recommended I do for this area. Let me grab my handy dandy phone because I don't remember. What did AI recommend? The first photo that AI did, like I said in previous, part 1 and part 2, what I really liked about the AI design is that it did a good job of pulling in all 3 areas that I gave it pictures to, making them all look seamless. So I really did enjoy that it was thoughtful enough to do that so that the area that you're decorating, because all these things that we decorated in part 1, 2, and 3, they are in the same area. If they are not tied in well, it looks like a damn mess, and it does not look like you know what you're doing, and it doesn't look luxurious or anything. So I really do like how it did that. However, it came off very not spring, more Easter. And what I've said in every single video, so sorry if you watched every single one because I'm saying this again, but I like to decorate in a way that is seamless for the entire time of spring to fall. Okay, so fall is when I change everything. So I need it to look seamless for spring into summer. This can be out all year round, and it comes off. Now, there are certain flowers that, and I have those flowers that I will maybe add touches to and eliminate some things so that it reads more summer, you know, like more yellows, dark yellows and things like that tend to read more summer than some of this bright flowers that you have going on. But one thing that I thought was interesting with regard to spring design that it provided was it put 2 wreaths side by side. I would never do that. That is a lot. That is a lot visually. It does not look right, I don't think. And then when you already have things that you're adding down here, now it didn't add as much items down here, so maybe it felt like 2 wreaths were fine. But I thought that was, that's not my aesthetic at all. Again, red berry Easter because we have an Easter bunny, we have eggs. I do like that it provided some tapered candles. I have those, and you could easily put those here. You could fill them in order to add some more elements. So I thought that that was a cute idea. The bottom I thought was very interesting as well. Again, not my aesthetic. I have small children, so I'm not going to put anything that they can get their little hands in, you know, with this terrarium or whatever that is. With the design that is, I said, follow current trends, for current spring trends, I felt like this one was very more on par with current spring trends. And I really liked the design that they had here. So I liked that they provided a really pretty base that had texture to it. I liked that the flowers that they put in there, they kept the wreath, which you can see. I like that they added texture with different baskets. And then you have a print, and then you have some elements that you can use all year round, which I really enjoyed with the lantern. So I thought that this read better. They kept the basket that I had in there, which this basket, the reason why it's turned around is actually fall. But again, I don't feel like, I do have a different basket that I could put down there to make it read more spring, and I may do that, but right now I'm not worried about doing that. But I like the basket that it provided at the end, and it had some flowers and books and things like that. I would have, if it was going to do that, okay, just tell me to take out my basket and put the basket in the middle that they did, because the 2 baskets together look very stupid. What I was most surprised by with regard to AI, now that we've done all 3 areas, I was really impressed, again, that it did a very good job of doing some seamless decorating, where it added elements that made the entire space look like you had really thought it out and that those components went together. So I really like that. Now that you have seen all 3 of these videos, go to part 4 when it comes out so that you can see what my entire space now looks like decorated. And then let me know in the comments below, did you find this helpful? Hopefully this was helpful in thinking through how to design a specific area. And although I am not an interior designer by any means, this is just what I enjoy doing. This is what makes sense in my brain, okay? So hopefully you found it helpful and you're able to build certain elements. A lot of the things that you're seeing here, I bought at garage sales. And I am thinking about actually showing you guys, because I go garage sailing every single time garage sales start in my state. And I always buy elements for the following year and then change things out. So I, bought these things for very inexpensive. This basket was $1. This greenery I bought at a garage sale too. A lot of these items I bought at a garage sale, or I bought at, Michael's or Hobby Lobby when things were, at the end of the season, because I'll just use it for next season. So I think that if that's something that you guys are interested, I would be happy to do a series where I go and I, go garage selling, I take you with me, you see what I found, and then you see how I decorate it in my home. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a luxurious day. This is Lux on the Low. My name is Rachel, where we talk about all things with regard to having a luxurious life, that be your home, your wardrobe, while staying to a realistic budget. So if that's something that you enjoy, then please follow along. Otherwise, I will see you the next time I see you. And I hope you guys have a very luxurious day, but I hope that you're able to keep it on the low. Bye, guys.